Hey y'all, I am back. It's a new week. Yo, last week my mic looked kind of crazy. Okay, I'm not tall enough for this, so we're just gonna put it. Oh. Sorry, y'all. That's what happens when you touch things you're not supposed to touch. I guess we're gonna leave it out. Does that work? I think that's good. Okay. Okay. No, I don't like it down here. Whatever. Let's get started. What a start to the week. It is Monday. Y'all will be seeing this on Wednesday. But happy Monday. Welcome back to the Culture Shock Podcast. Today's episode 3. And I am your host. Nah, this ain't gonna fly. I'm your host, Nila Payne. Today, I don't know, I've been feeling kind of like emotional all week. I don't really know. I know why. I'm just really exhausted. So I guess that's what I'll be talking about today. It's kind of like the state of the workplace right now in general. The being a college student right now, among many other things. But yeah, last night with this was the Super Bowl, the Usher Bowl to me, because as much as I enjoy watching football, that game was really, really boring and really, really bad. And I honestly, like, not to prey on the Chiefs' downfall, but, like, I really didn't want to watch that. And I, like, honestly, that kind of really blew my shit a little bit. Yeah, I'm just tired. I'm tired of it. Travis Kelce almost knocking Andy Reid on his ass clean is crazy, though. I hope that man gets the help that he needs. I don't know. Killing Nicole, he dodged a bullet. Good luck, Taylor Swift. And no further comments. All I'm going to say is that A.J. Brown, or whoever hacked A.J. Brown, said it best. If he would have done it, the whole NFL would have been trying to suspend him. But let Travis Kelce knock Andy Reid on his ass, and now it's fine. He's just passionate. They're all passionate, I would hope. They're getting paid millions of dollars to play football, which is fine. That's great. But don't make excuses for one person, then let people get consequences. Other people get consequences anyway. Next, that's not what today was about. Usher was so good. It was such a black show. It was such a black ass halftime show, and I loved it so much. Let me stop. It was really, really great. He had noobs. He had, strippers. And he had everything. I don't know what he didn't have, but I was literally talking about when the skates came out. I was talking to Ryan. I was like, oh my gosh. Did you know, like, Usher skates? Like, that's, like, such a black thing. And then here come Usher on some skates in a sparkly blue outfit. I was like, oh. Hey, Usher. No, it was a really great show, though. I was very entertained. Justin Bieber, I'm not really mad about him not bringing Justin Bieber on just because he brought so many other people on. Alicia Keys should have stayed at home. I'm not going to lie to y'all. She was sounding a little crazy, a little pitchy. Not that I can do better. I get on this mic, and before I start this thing, I'd be, like, doing tests on here and, like, singing stuff. And, like, today, like, the song, I was like, twin, where have you been? Nobody knows me. But, like, it's crazy. You really have to, the guts you have to go into a recording studio and hear yourself like this in a microphone and still sound bad, and then publish that song and push it to the masses. Hey, better than me, because I'd be on here acting like I'm Ariana Grande, and I'd be sounding crazy. Not the point. Usher, 10 out of 10. Loved it. I'm very intrigued to see what's going to happen next year. But that's what we came here to talk about. I've just been thinking a lot about, like, my career lately, and a goal that I had for myself this year was to, like, kind of, like, stay present, and I'm not doing that. everything I do now is for the future. Like I am not doing anything to like help myself now. Everything I'm doing in the current moment, like besides this, is to like get me somewhere, which like is okay. It's okay to do things to get yourself ahead, but like I'm suffering right now because I'm trying so hard to get ahead. I'm just feeling like general burnout. I also do like a lot more than I should be doing. And I think a problem that I have with myself is like, okay, like I'm working hard now to be able to like chill and enjoy it later. What if there is like not a later? Like, I don't know. I like would hate to like waste, I don't want to say waste my life like trying to work for the next thing and like the next thing isn't good enough, so I want something else. But like it's just really hard for me to accept like I'm at a spot that I would have loved to see myself in 4 years ago as a sophomore in high school. And like now I, I have a habit of like discrediting myself. Like, yeah, I did this, but it's not a big deal. Like, it is a big deal though. Like, I just can't ever let myself have something. And I think that is what's making me feel as if everything I'm doing just isn't enough. I was just talking to my coworker about it, and like honestly, like in retrospect, last semester, the fall, I was working part-time seasonal with the Steelers. I was working part-time at a restaurant. I was taking 18 credits and then I dropped some, so I ended up taking 16. Uh, yeah, I dropped 16 because I was taking 2 credit class. Uh, I was taking 16 credits, working 2 jobs. I had an internship on top of the 2 jobs. And then I just didn't have, like, what time does that leave you for yourself? Then I started the pod. Uh, then I, like, it just was way too much looking back. And now, like, trying to fix the mistakes that I made last semester right now, I'm not doing any better. Instead of working 2 jobs, I'm working 1 job, but I'm working 5 days a week at 1 job. Um, I'm taking 18 credits. I'm doing an internship still. I'm running the podcast still. I don't know how to sit down. Like, I don't know how to stop. And I think part of that is just like being involved in so many activities when I was younger. Not that I'm like old now, but like when I was younger, like it was school. I like very distinctly remember like freshman and sophomore year of high school was like wake up, go to school. In school, I'd have like classes and everything after lunch. For me, the first 2 years, I would have lunch, dance for 2 hours in school, then gym. Then I'd have a 30-minute break. In that 30 minutes, I'm walking to the field hockey field. Then I have 2 hour, 3 hour practice. Then I'm changing in the car, wiping down with a baby wipe, putting on a leotard and tights, and going to dance until 9 o'clock at night. Then by the time it's 9, I'm at home doing homework. Wake up the next day, do it all again. There's never a stop point there. And now that's just how I function. Like, I always have to bounce to the next thing. I just don't have a second to breathe just because that's always what I've done. I've never done anything else. And I don't, like, I don't really know how to get out of that. I feel like that's part of, like, it, like, I don't really notice how exhausted I get until I'm at the point of, like, actual tears. Like, till I'm in my bed, like, crying, hugging myself to sleep. And, like, obviously that's not good. Like, but I feel like now, like, especially with like social media, and I feel like this is also just a personal problem. I don't take a lot of things on social media to heart, but I get like actively frustrated sometimes when we talk about the state of the workplace right now, because I work as a receptionist or like a guest service associate at a wax center. And like I said, I'm working 5 days a week there, and I feel awful when I have to call out because I feel like I'm going to be punished and penalized for. I have never called out, but I feel awful saying no. Like, I can't work this day. And, like, it comes down to, like, me having to work 7-hour shifts every day. And then I get a weekend, and it's time to do 3 classes worth of online work and study for a midterm and do this and do that, to the point where I can't even enjoy my time off because it's not time off. Like, but I feel bad for that because I feel like I'm responsible if like something goes wrong or something is bad, and I'm not, and I know that I'm not. But the way like the older people and like the older generation talk about working, and especially considering like the state of the economy right now. Like, I'm never gonna have a house, or I don't want to say that. I don't want to speak that into existence, but like, it feels as if I can never own a home. It feels like I'm going to be renting my whole life. I can't get groceries. Like, groceries are $100 and they last me 2 weeks. Over $100 and they last me 2 weeks. Like, it's just hard to like work so much with such little payout right now. And not even like wage wise, but like I am quite literally drained. I get nothing from working that job except for a paycheck, and half my money's gone to taxes. So like it just like it's exhausting to be so overworked and like still have other priorities. I know that's just like part of being an adult, but obviously like nobody really prepares you for that. Like there's no transition at all into that, and that's one thing I wish that like we would do better in like American public schools. I don't know if it's different for everybody else. I don't know. I went to a trade school, and like I wish I would have went for business instead of dance, because obviously I'm in business right now. But that's not even the point. Like, I feel I still would have felt severely underpaid, not underpaid, underprepared for like what's to come now. I feel like college isn't even like the part that I'm really, really struggling with for real. It's like finding a balance, and I guess that's not like a school system problem. It's that I've never had a moment to like chill out, you know. I don't know, but I feel like it's just so normal to like be on the next step, worry about the next step. And like I, I'm so worried about the next step, I don't even know what's happening in my own life. People ask me for updates, I say, oh, I've been to schoolwork, which is true because that's all I've been doing. But like, when was the last time I did something fun for myself? I don't know. I can't remember the last time I did something I actually wanted to do, like an activity. Nothing. I can't remember, which is horrible, and it's probably not the same for everybody else. I know the difference between like me and a lot of other people. Like my school doesn't have Greek life, so a lot of like the fun things that like everybody else does in college, I don't get to do. Or like I can go to like a frat or sorority, but I'm not a part of it. I don't. It's just weird. It's a weird time. I Yeah, that's a really strange time. But I don't know. I feel like also part of that. Excuse me. Just as like a black woman, I'm laughing because I feel like I just talked about this, and I did. But like I was saying before in like the last episode, like it's been like drilled in my head, and it's true. There's a reason it's been drilled in my head, but like you just have to work twice as hard. Like you can't. There is no room. Nobody's gonna settle for you being like mediocre. You have to work hard. You have to do twice as much, three times as much. You have to shine from the back. You have to like just do so many things and like overcome so many other challenges and like so much. I'm not gonna say more adversity, but like adversity in different ways that like some people would just never understand. That like it's hard to decondition myself from, okay, you have to go to school, then go home and do homework, and then go to work, and then come home and do this and do that and do that, and then come home and do your laundry and do this. Like there's like so many priorities gets jumbled in your brain, and that's something I feel like as a whole we need to work on. Black women, period. My mom does it, my aunt does it, my grandma does it in her own way. Every black woman that I know does it. I mean, well, most of them. And if they're not, like, I also feel like I'm just at a point where like my career comes before everything else right now, which is kind of where I should be. I don't disagree with that, but I just think I need to find a better balance. But how do you find a better balance when you always feel behind and you always feel like you're playing catch up? And the crazy thing about that is that I have a full 1-page resume for like everything that I want to do except for the music industry. And right now I'm kind of like on the fence about even being involved in something like that, because I really don't like the way labels are moving right now. It's kind of gross, but I don't know. We'll talk about it another time. I need to do some more research, but I've always been very passionate about music, If you can't tell, my whole last episode was about music. I post about music almost every week. I don't know. I don't want to mix passion and like doing something. I don't want to risk like losing my love for something to a job. Like, obviously I want to be passionate about my job, but not like have to work and hate the fact that I work where I work and like not enjoy my life if most of my life is going to be with work anyway. But it's just so hard. It's a hard thing to balance a juggle, especially with sports and going into the sports industry as somebody who like wants a family one day. That's really hard to think about and really hard to balance because I'm not going to say you don't have time for a family, but it's not a 9 to 5. Like, you're not going to have guaranteed hours off and this is when I'm coming home. Like, I could be somewhere till 3:00 in the morning and come home and like have to leave again at like 10:00, like, or earlier. It's just hard. It's hard to think about. And this is me again. I can't stay present. I always am like thinking about the next step to the point where I don't even know what the next step is anymore. I don't think so far ahead. I thunk myself if that's I've been thinking so far ahead. I have like already thought my whole life out. Like, I don't know what else there's to think. I think it's just a point of like general exhaustion, and I know a lot of other people are feeling this way as well. A lot of other like students that I've talked to are feeling this way, and it is just a part of student burnout, but it's also like just a reflection. It's just made me think a lot about like our culture as a whole, like American culture. Like, I'm literally living to work for the rest of my life. Retirement age is only getting higher. I'm not making any money, or I won't make any money to do something that I like. And if I do something that I hate, I'm going to be bad at it and still get half my money taken away. And I'm never going to be able to own a house. And groceries are really expensive. And car notes are extremely insane. And my mom's not going to be here forever. And my family's not going to be here forever to help me. And at some point, I'm going to be the family that has to help my kids and my grandkids. And the spiraling of somebody with anxiety and a chronic overthinker is a word that goes all the time. But I just wanted to talk about it. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people have been feeling this way. I don't really know how to put everything into words and exactly like voice what the solution to that would be. I mean, something I've been doing, I don't know. I have been saying I need to carve out time for myself and like be like, okay, here's a day. You have 30 minutes. Let's read a book. Or like, let's do something that doesn't require you to think about the next step. You just do something now that you enjoy. Haven't been doing that. You can say it, easier said than done. The only thing that I've been doing, I would say, that's like kind of keeping me grounded a little bit is like prayer. And that's not really carving. I do carve out time like to pray and stuff. But that's also like, yes, it's for myself. It's just not in myself in that way. Like, I don't know. I feel like this is sounding really bad. Yes, prayer is good. I'm supposed to pray. But that's the only thing that I've been doing. And I also need to do other things. Like, I need to be making a conscious effort for myself as well and putting those words into action and practice. It's just really hard. I don't know. I'm just having a hard time. It's also like the season's changing. It's also, I don't know. I don't know what else it is. It's just general stress. But honestly, like, something that I've been reminding myself of to like keep myself going is like I said before, like, this is something that I like, where I'm at now is like where I prayed so many times to be at, or like I'm past there, which is a blessing, and not everybody gets to be able to say that they are where they wanted to be 5 years ago. And hopefully, Lord willing, that is where I'll be again in 5 years. Like, I'll be where I'm praying to be at right now. I just need to let, God do his thing, let everything work in the timing that it's supposed to, and stop trying to really like recklessly control everything, stop being a control freak, stop overworking myself, sit down, stop killing myself for a job that would fire me in 2 seconds over some attendance. Like, and I haven't had any issues with attendance. I have never called out of this job. But that's not the point. I'm scared to call out. I feel like I owe them something. And like, yes, I made a commitment, but I don't owe them my life. And that's what I need to wrap my head around. Like, I don't owe anybody my life. But yeah, I don't know. I was just doing a lot of reflection this morning also about like my experiences during high school and like kind of just like trying to like trace my behavior backwards to why I act the way that I do. And I was thinking, like, I think like we really underestimate like what the pandemic really did, because having the whole world shut down is honestly really crazy. Like I feel like now it's just a thing like, oh yeah, that happened, but like nobody everybody talks about it and nobody talks about it at the same time. And I really don't know how to describe it, but that actually just that obviously it changed everybody's life and the way everybody thinks and acts now. But like being a teenager during that time, and also for me, I had a crazy change of identity after the pandemic, and not because of the pandemic, because of what happened. I guess it had nothing to do with the pandemic. I was friends with these two girls. We were very close. I was, I'm not going to say I was whitewashed. I don't really think that's, whatever. I don't think that's the right word. I think I just like, I'll explain it. Y'all already know me, so it doesn't matter. There's nothing to hide. It's kind of, I had like black friends. I've never been like one to shy away from the fact that I'm black and one to shy away from black people. I've never been that way. 8th grade, my two best friends were white. Freshman year, had an all-white friend group except for my 3 closest black friends at the time. And then sophomore year, I ended up getting really close to like 2 of my friends from dance. We had a big falling out. We were 16 also, so it's like kind of different. But we also like, I don't want to like seem like I'm bringing up things from the past, but it genuinely did change my life, and it is a point of reflection. So I mean, I don't know, you can send this to whoever you want. I'm going to talk about it because it's my podcast and it is my life at the end of the day. So I ended up like, we were really close friends for like the whole course that year until about June or July. And the reason we stopped being friends is kind of stupid. It was literally like over a boy, but it was over a boy that like, I'm not going to say I don't care about him because love you, Eugene. But I just like, I don't care about you that way. I just felt very like, why would you say that in that kind of way? So I like sent a picture and whatever, something happened. And, obviously I know where I was wrong, but then like reflecting on that whole friendship and like what I put up with is kind of the same thing. Like I plan my life so specifically, when things don't work out, I don't know what to do. And that is the problem with not living right now, because I just wasn't living then. I was thinking about college and thinking about where I was going to be in 5 years. And like, yes, I'm there kind of, but I'm not there with the people I thought I was going to be there with. I didn't get there in the timeline I thought I was going to get there in. It's just so different. But I think like my brain like genuinely did rewire during COVID, because when I stopped being friends with them and I looked back, I'm not going to say they're like bad people, but we just genuinely had different values and interests, like not to the T, but honestly, like there's only so many things you can get people to explain when you are a black woman in predominantly white spaces and environments, especially being in dance. Obviously I did not go to like a black dance academy. I live in South Jersey. I don't know. I loved my training, my teammates, great people, sure. It's just like there's no way to explain like some like serious things that just can't be like reconsidered and rethought about. And I've just seen like one too many black people like my age let shit slide. They should not have let slide. Why are you letting people say the hard R? Letting people around you wear Confederate flags. You live in New Jersey. You're not even from the South. Like, what are we talking about? Southern pride. You don't even know what you're standing for right now, which is crazy. Like, whatever. That ain't the point. The point is that after that falling out, and I did like some like reflecting on my behaviors, on what I did wrong, but also like what they did wrong, and accepting things for how they were, I kind of just like went into a period of like being by myself. I ended up getting really close with this other girl. Like I have great friendships. Me and the 2 girls are cool now. Like it's fine. We're aged out of it. It was just teenage drama, but like it did like change a lot for me, and it gave me a lot of time to like kind of become who I am now. Not that I'm like a whole different person, but I am. And they're probably very different people now too, as well as everybody else, because that's what happens when you grow up. But I think that I kind of started like, that was where I started like obsessively like thinking about everything that I could control. And that's why it's so hard for me to break out of like okay, I can control my future. I can control my career and what's going to happen now, but I can't snap out of it. And I think COVID like really put me in like that state of like worry. Like after the world shut down, I like swore before that I was going to be a dance major and or like at least a dance minor. Like I swore I was going to dance, and I never like lost a love for dance, but it's just not something that I see in my career really like at all. Which is crazy, and I wouldn't have said that a long time ago. But like after everything shut down and I realized like, oh my god, like the performing arts, like everybody that's in this like doesn't have a job right now, started this obsessive worry and like need for control that I can't shake and can't get out of. I'm not trying to dump nothing. I'm just honestly speaking my piece, and I'm only talking about it today because like I know a lot of other people feel that way too. But moral of the story, I'm trying to wrap this up because I feel like this is getting really long. I don't want to cut myself short though. I feel like I'm kind of like bumbling. Speaking of bumbling, I don't know, this girl, her name, I'm not gonna say her name. I'm not gonna say her at. That's crazy. But this I don't know who. I got attacked by a Swiftie last week, y'all. It was pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie. Now I'm getting off topic, but it was hilarious. Shout out to the Swifties for sticking it out last week because I definitely had some things to say. Anyway, I feel like I'm kind of just rambling now. Moral of the story: don't kill yourself over no job. They will get rid of you, and I've heard countless stories about people who like have coworkers who like literally died and like didn't show up for work and were fired or like trying to be fired. I mean, if they were alive, they would have been fired. Or like people who really haven't done anything or have like intense family situations or are sick, and you only get this many times off to be sick or this many this and before you're fired. Like I'm not about to live my life in a state of stress and a state of worry. And I think coming to my realization last night, I also listened to 16 Carriages by Beyonce yesterday, and I cried and cried and cried like a little baby over it because it just feels so like real. And the fact that everybody else is feeling that way too, like I'm working so hard and like I'm overworked, I'm not getting paid enough. What else can I do at this point? Like what else can I do? And there's nothing you can do. So at this point, if there's nothing I can do, I might as well enjoy my life. I might as well do things that make me happy. I'm not saying I'm going to drop my priorities, but I am saying I need to be present. And the message of today is that if you're not being present, you should also be present and carve time out to do things that you enjoy, things that you love, things that you care about and you're passionate about outside of work that have nothing to do with your career and everything to do with you, who you are as a person, and what you enjoy. Okay, wrapping that up, I feel like a little... not a priest, like a preacher. So I guess we're done for today. That was my little message. I love y'all. I will see you all next week. I know I said I was gonna have a guest next week, but I lied. It'll be coming. Okay. Bye.